digital transformation isn't optional. It's a necessity. It is a non-negotiable. Um, Most customers are expecting a digital experience of some sort whenever they encounter a business. Um,
Hmm.
if businesses delay, then they're going to continue to struggle to compete globally. It's not just about what's in your backyard. Your customer is all over the world. And if
Yeah.
you want to reach that customer, especially on an island, then you have to be able to expand, because if you want to expand your customer base, you have to expand your reach by utilizing technology to do that.
Well, good day. It's your innovation coach, Rob Jackson, and welcome to another edition of the Innovate Guam Podcast, the podcast where we explore all things innovation, technology, and improvement related to the island of Guam. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Substack. My podcasts drop at the beginning of each week. Also, be sure to check out my Innovate column in the Pacific Daily News every first and third Friday of each month. All right, today's guest is Miss Allyn Wall, an award-winning AI strategist and technology innovation advisor. And she's the founder and CEO of Digital Glow Consulting, where she works with leaders in business, hospitality, and education to turn emerging technology into measurable revenue growth and competitive advantage. Allyn is the recipient of the Bold and Fearless Advocacy Award for Leadership and Innovation in STEM, and is the creator of a patent pending AI concierge system that integrates intelligent virtual assistants directly into 3D virtual tours, enabling organizations to modernize customer engagement, shorten decision cycles, and unlock new revenue streams. He has delivered executive level training and innovation sessions on AI driven marketing, automation, and digital transformation for professional and industry organizations, including the National Association of Women in Construction, and has presented at the Guam Career and Technical Education Summit. Her AI strategy work has also been published in the Department of Defense Education Activity Connect newsletter. She also serves as AI team lead at Guam High School, where she leads applied AI innovation initiatives in highly in a highly regulated environment that functions as a proving ground for scaling a scalable AI systems. Align brings board level leadership experience as a member and former executive board chair of Youth Enhancement Services of Atlanta, and she is an active member of the Guam Chamber of Commerce, the Guam International Women's Club, the National Association of Women in Construction, the Guam chapter of that, and she is a proud member of my favorite Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you, I am so excited to give to you Miss Allyn Wall. Allyn,
Hi, Rob. Thank you so much. Oh,
all
I'm so
right, well,
excited to be
welcome to the
here.
podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. I'm so humbled. um, when you hear about all the things that you've done, you're like, wow, I did all that. But thank you so much. I am so humbled and so honored to be here to share something that I'm so passionate about with your viewers.
I tell you, I'm so excited to have you. Now, we have a tradition here on the Innovate Guam podcast. We start off with some icebreaker questions to kind of get a sense of where your head is at in
Yes.
terms of innovation. So,
Okay.
my first question is, what does innovation mean to you, particularly in a business and revenue context, especially applied to Guam?
Okay, that's a good question. So, innovation to me is when old and outdated products or processes are integrated with up-to-date current practices, and they add value or increase value in the marketplace. And I think Guam is the perfect place to have some innovations integrated.
Oh yeah. So tell me about one AI myth that business owners should stop believing, and what should they focus on instead?
Well, one of the common myths that business owners have is that AI is going to take their jobs or close their businesses.
Yes.
And it's not. What they should focus on is more front facing activities that they can devote their time to and allow
Hmm.
AI to innovate those repetitive activities that don't necessarily drive revenue or create relationships.
Yeah, great point. So next question, what digital upgrade should every Guam small business um, have heard of or should incorporate, like overnight?
Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked that question. The very first thing I think would be a game changer is an AI phone concierge, a
Hmm.
concierge that can answer those calls that come into their business, because whenever a customer is placing a call to a business, they've already made a decision to buy.
Mm,
And if they've made the decision to buy, and the call is missed, then the business is missing revenue. And so I think that is one of the most important things that a business can integrate and should integrate like yesterday, because there are so many calls that go missed. And then what happens is when people don't have their call answered, they move on to the next business.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Innovation leaders, it's your innovation coach, Rob Jackson here. Are you ready to elevate your vehicle fleet operations? Fleet Solutions is an AI enabled fleet management system. Fleet Solutions provides real time video, smart analytics, and total efficiency. Keep your people safe and keep your business moving forward faster than ever before. Fleet Solutions, arriving tomorrow, today. Visit thefleetsolutions.net or call 671 988 9748 to schedule your personalized demo and revolutionize your fleet operations today. Yeah, so I'm really geeking out over here because I'm in the presence of a true AI expert. So I got all kind of crazy questions that I want to ask you about AI and what it's all about. But before we get into all of my geeking out questions, tell me about Digital Glow Consulting. Um, you know, um, who are you? What do you do? And who do you serve?
Okay, thank you. So, Digital Glow Consulting, I have a small personal fact to share about Digital Glow Consulting. It's actually an AI slash marketing consulting business that was started, and the name Digital Glow, GLO, is from my mother. My mother passed away in
Ah,
2019, and I
mm-hmm.
decided to name the business after her in her honor. And the businesses that we help are hospitality brands, education organizations, um, we provide innovative marketing strategies, specifically around AI since the inception of AI, immersive technology to grow revenue, and then also to improve customer connection as well as
Mm-hmm.
global reach. I think AI has been a game changer as well as immersive experiences in terms of being able to reach clients globally as opposed to locally.
Yeah, yeah. So in starting your consulting business,
Mhm.
what was the real gap that you saw that you thought you really could address?
Well, one is, and we talked about it with the missed phone calls and conversions, but I noticed that websites are designed to be pretty, but they're not necessarily designed to convert. And they should be a conversion tool. Everything that's
What do you
out
mean
there.
by conversion?
Oh, good question. So it should take the person who is on the opposite side of the website through stages and convert them into clients. So
Mm,
they should go from observer to client in that pathway as they intersect with your website or any media online. And I think that's one of our other questions that we're going to, or topics that we're going to talk about, is online presence.
hmm
So I noticed
Yeah.
that there's a gap in conversions and the tools and the tracking and things that are being used online in terms of a business's online presence. It's not really serving the purpose that the business owner intended for it to serve.
Okay. So when we start talking about AI, sometimes it's very easy to get like lost in the sauce of all of the tech speak and the tech, you know, uh, bells and whistles. You know,
Yes.
tell me in plain English, what's your mission?
So my mission is simple. It's actually to help organizations turn digital visibility into revenue. Period. That's it.
Okay. That was very straightforward and to the point. Even I could understand that. So, in doing that mission and serving your clients, what's the top three metrics that you really track to see if you're delivering on that mission statement?
Qualified leads, because as well as I do, you can have someone to make a phone call or to click on your website and they're just looking. But you want to make sure that the calls and the clicks that come in are actual leads that convert to
Mm-hmm.
customers or clients. Also conversion rate, how fast and how often that particular front facing entity, whether it's an AI chatbot or whatever the case may be, at what rate it's converting. And when I say converting from looky loo to client spending money. And then also
Yes.
the revenue impact. How is that particular tool actually impacting revenue? So some people refer to it as ROI, or return on investment. If you're
Uh-huh.
spending $500 a month for a tool, are you making that and some back every month? So,
Right.
yeah. So those are the three that
Right.
are most important, I think.
So, who would you say is Digital Glow Consulting's ideal client right now? I mean, is it like the hospitality industry? Is it the small business person? Is it the folks in education? Who's your ideal client and why?
So, right now, I'm specifically looking at the hospitality industry. That does not negate the small service-based business, and also schools. There's a definite need in terms of assisting schools, but the models that I have actually serve anyone, but specifically right now, hospitality, service-based businesses and schools and school districts.
Okay. Okay. Good. That's a good orientation about kind of who you all are and what you're doing. Uh, Let me get into all of my geek questions now.
Okay.
So let's talk about SEO. What is SEO?
So SEO, and I'm going to go old school, is search engine optimization. So
Okay.
back in the day, and we're talking probably 2 years ago, um, because
It's amazing how fast technology moves these days. Back in the day is 2 years ago.
so back in the day, search engine optimization was all about your website and your ads actually targeting those customers by placing keywords strategically in terms of copy on your website and in your ads. So, for example, if I wanted to find dog a dog sitter in Guam, then of course, as a searcher, I'm going to type in best dog sitter in Guam. And so that would be placed somewhere on your website in the copy, of course, as a flow, um, in order for your website to appear first as I'm searching. Okay, that's old
Mhm.
school. Well, now, new school search engine optimization is you have to be able to appear in an AI search. So,
Mm,
because a lot of people, believe it or not, are using AI to find things because it's quicker than Google. What happens with Google
right,
is Google will show you a whole bunch of things that are irrelevant to your search. It'll be a mishmash of a whole bunch of things, and you just want that one thing. So if you
right.
go to you go to AI, and what AI will do is AI will target that search. But as a new school person who prepares your business for AI, believe it or not, AI can help you with that because all you have to do is say, hey, I am I don't know, I'm a dog groomer and I'm on Guam. Please make sure that my website appears in Chat GPT. Tell me what I need to do with my website in order to make it AI friendly or AI searchable. And there's a whole bunch of other words you can put in there, but generally AI will tell you what your website needs in order to appear in AI.
Wow, that's outstanding. I never thought about that
Yeah,
because, quite frankly, that's like the base level introduction to for most people into AI. They
yeah,
use Chat GPT or all the different other Copilot, etc., as a
right.
search engine. You go and hey, find me, blah, 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 blah. It's like the new Google, the new Yahoo, the new
Yeah,
search engine. So now you have to kind of optimize your searches for all of these AI functions, not
yeah,
just for the traditional search engines.
right.
Never
Because
thought about it like that.
it's more than just information. Your website gives information, but AI tells you what the business does, how it relates to you. And so you have to have those specific questions answered. And you can even ask AI, tell me which questions you prefer to answer or that have been searched around my quote unquote business.
Okay.
It's a whole
Okay.
thing.
So since we're talking about search engines, let's uh let's talk about Google. You know,
Okay.
why is a Google, well, first of all, what is a Google business profile and why is it a high ROI kind of tool to have these days?
So, a Google business profile is your business on Google. So, we've all used Google Maps to search for a business. When we search for a business, dog groomer, I'm looking for best dog groomer on Guam. Several businesses show up in your business profile search or in your Google Maps search. The top three usually show up with pictures, right? And
Yes.
in our minds, we picture those as the best because they show up first. So your Google business profile is a reflection of your business and a locator to your business on Google and Google Maps. So let me just be totally transparent. I've driven and searched for businesses. They've had inaccurate locations and I've not been able to find the business. It's
That's a
imperative.
problem here on Guam
You
specifically.
said that.
Uh,
I didn't.
yeah, yes. So I find that my experience in the States is a lot different from here in the Guam, where I pull up Google Maps and stuff like that. It's very accurate
Yes.
information, it brings you to there. But here in Guam, there's a lot of missing information in the Google searches and stuff like that. Why is that?
Well, I think it's because, and I'm just speculating, I think it's because it looks like it's an overwhelming process to optimize it. And then, two, it also has to be optimized for search as well because Chat GPT and all these other AI agents, they actually pull up Google business profiles in their searches in their search results. So
Hmm.
if your business is answering those questions accurately, then you'll show up in Chat GPT as well. And I think businesses become kind of overwhelmed. It could be an arduous task. It seems like it's techy, but it's not. It's just a matter of reading and clicking and answering all the fields. You have to fill out all the fields. And I've noticed that a lot of businesses neglect to fill out all the fields. They just put their name, they don't put a description of the business, they don't put who they serve, they don't put what type of business is it? Is it a woman-owned business? Is
Mm.
it those are important things, and then they're not consistent across um all platforms. So you got to look at what are the other platforms? um I don't know where they do reviews for you. Different
Oh,
platforms.
like Yelp and all of
Yes.
that kind of stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes, they have to be consistent. All of the information has to be consistent across all platforms, and that inconsistency knocks you out. And it also speaks to your credibility as a business. Because if your business profile is not verified, then people will look at your business like, is this really a business?
You
Um,
know, that's funny you should say this because when I started my business and I was getting some mentoring from folks back in the States, I was told that a lot of this stuff that you're talking about in terms of search engine optimization and your online presence, that
mhm.
finance and creditors use this to determine how much money or loans or credit or whatever based on what your online profile looks like. And if it looks inconsistent or whatever like that, it's like counted against you. It's like hits against how much money they're going to offer you or what you qualify or whatever. And I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, now that part I've never heard in terms of the money, but I do know that businesses and creditors do look at your profile to validate your business existence, and
Uh-huh.
they really do scrutinize that. Even if you are doing something like, let's say, government contracting or something like that, your
Right.
stuff has to be consistent across the board, and that's something that
Right.
needs to be taken care of on the front end, and it may take a little time, but it's so valuable on the back end.
Yeah. 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 Wow. So you were talking about websites and
Yeah.
how websites aren't supposed to just be pretty, right? They're supposed to be functional, right?
Yes.
So tell me what a real lead generation system looks like.
So a lead generation system, some people call them funnels, right?
Hmm.
It's from the click to the client, from the click to the close, I would say. So if they it's the process that um, is set up in order to qualify the lead, book the appointment, and close the deal. And that's all it is. And it varies depending on the business, what type of system you set up. Sometimes it can be a landing page. Sometimes it can be a person on the other end of a phone call. It just all depends because landing pages may not necessarily be a requirement for one business. You may just need a Facebook ad. Um, so it just depends. But it's from I like that phrase. I think I'm gonna keep that. Click to close. I like that.
Yes. Yeah, so you talked about funnels and lead generation and stuff. If you had a list, what's on that list of all the things that a modern 21st century website needs to be able to do?
It needs to be able to convert. Well, it needs to be able to first represent your brand. It needs to be informative, but it also, at the same time, it needs to be converting. So it needs to have content, automated responses. It should reduce friction for the visitor. So if you have a whole bunch of stuff going on the page, you need to make sure that it's laser focused on what you want the client to know in order to have the client to do. That's
Mm,
it. But it also has to, so it has to be searchable too. So they have to be able to find it. AI has to be able to find it. And that's possible. It's possible to integrate all of that with the content. Yeah.
okay, okay. So we're talking about websites. Let's talk about social media, right? So
Okay.
tell me the difference between just posting on social media versus having a social media strategy.
Okay. So posting on social media can be random. You can post a dog today, and then you can post, a cat tomorrow. I don't know, just random. Posting can be random, but strategic posting is intentional posts to convert. That could be information, that could be positioning your brand. Um, as long as it's posting with purpose, if that makes sense.
Yes,
Yeah. And it's okay
yes,
to mix a little bit of humanity in there as well, because people don't do business with businesses, they do business with people.
yes.
And so if they see, oh, Allyn is a human, she's more than just AI and, doing all the things. She's human. So, I kind of like what she's talking about today. It could be, but you have to sprinkle it in. It's a mix.
Okay. So I'm a business owner and I want to develop my online strategy, right?
Okay.
How do I know when I should go the consulting route, i.e., hire somebody, they advise me, and then I do it myself, versus just outsourcing the whole thing and saying, hey, Allyn, do my strategy for me.
Great question. So, consulting, I think, comes into play when you have a team already in place who kind of gets it, and they know what what direction they want to take the business in, and I can provide some support. So business A, they already have a marketing team. They already are, posting to social media. Social media is already set up. We just need some up-to-date ideas and some strategies on moving our business to the next level. That's where consulting would be beneficial. Done for you is that business owner who has so much on their plate. They're running their business. They don't care about social media. They do, but they don't really have the time to devote to even learning social media. I've talked to business owners that say, "Oh, I don't have time for all of that." That would be the done for you business. The business that they don't have a team in place. They're just like, "Here, how much do I owe you? Just you do this." Just do it. I don't need for you to explain it to me. Just do it and send me a report.
Yeah. So we're talking about all of these different technologies. Now let's kind of transition to immersive kind of technologies.
Okay.
What is a 3D virtual tour and where does it create the most value?
Awesome question. So, a 3D virtual tour, a lot of people confuse it with a 3D camera where you're standing in one place and you circle around, right?
Hmm.
But a 3D virtual tour is actually a digital twin of a physical space. And it allows you to
What does
actually
that
go.
mean? That sounds like a lot of tech
I'm
jargon.
sorry.
Digital twin. So
Digital
what's a
twin.
digital twin?
A digital twin is actually an online replica of a space. So it's a double of a space. You have your space, and then I create it digitally and put it here online.
And
That's
it
what
lives in cyberspace, and I can
yes.
go through that space in cyberspace.
Yes. And you've
All
seen
right.
people with these 3D goggles.
Yes.
They can actually, with the digital twins, the immersive experience can actually really be immersive because it's compatible with the 3D goggles. So you can go in and look around, look up, look down. It's really cool.
Interesting. So my understanding is that you really specialize in this area. What does that look like, and what kind of offerings do you have? Do you have some kind of demonstration that you can show us?
Absolutely. This is the fun. Well, all of this has been fun, but this is this is really fun.
All right. Well, why don't I hand it over to you and we can do a little bit of a demonstration. You can walk us through what kind of capabilities that you can bring to the fight here.
Okay.
All right. I see your screen.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to show you a few things. We talked about the Google Maps, right?
Yes.
So so this is a demonstration of some of the things that I've actually captured using the 3D virtual tour and embedded that virtual tour and connected it to the Google Maps of a business. So if you notice here, can you see those numbers?
I can.
So this particular business, and this was in Japan, a business that I used to love. The food is amazing. Um, they their virtual tours have gotten 33,000 views, and I can tell you what happened with this business. So this is a small business outside of it's in the town of Tokuyama, which is um, in Yamaguchi Prefecture. No reference. Your visitors are probably going to be like, your viewers are like, I
I
don't know
know
where
it
that
because
is.
I spent about 5, 6 years in Japan, so I know where you're talking about.
Awesome. So this is a really small restaurant in Tokuyama, and I actually went there and did a virtual tour and connected the virtual tour to their Google business. They were pretty light when it came to customers. The very next day, they had an influx of customers to the point where they just didn't have, they were full to capacity. And so I asked the
Very
owner
next day, Allyn.
the very next day, they were swamped for lunch. And I looked at the virtual tour because this was captured in March of 2023. I looked at the virtual tour and the analytics, and I noticed that there were already hundreds of views of the virtual tour that day within 24 hours. And so when I talked to the business owner, I asked the business owner, I said, have you ever had an influx like this before? And the business owner said, no. They said, is this because of you? I said, I'd like to think so. I said, we're going to go with that. So it really does impact, it impacts the visibility of the restaurant, because if you look at it, you can actually see yourself sitting somewhere. You're like, oh,
Yes.
I love how this, restaurant looks. I could see myself sitting there. If you can see yourself there before you get there, then you're already
Right.
sold, right?
Yes. Yes.
So that's with the Google Business profile. If you look at this one, so this is an example of, and let me just preface this. I'm only using this because I did a demo with Leo Palace. This in no way, shape, or form demonstrates that Leo Palace and Digital Glow Consulting are in partnership. Um, this is only for demonstration purposes
This
only.
is a demo. Okay.
Yeah. So down here, we have the little person. She answers questions. And this is embedded in the virtual tour. So she will answer questions about the location. She will answer questions. And if connected to a system, she'll also book appointments. It just depends on what the need is of the business. I'll show her, but then let me show you the tour before I start talking about her. Let me turn this off. Going through the space, and this is demo. Um,
Is this Leo Palace?
I knew you were going to ask that. No, this is not Leo Palace.
I was getting ready to say.
This is not Leo Palace. I did not have an opportunity to capture any of the spaces at Leo Palace, but I demonstrated this for Leo Palace.
Okay.
So you can go throughout the space. You can go here if you want a top-down view, and you can see how the space looks from the top. You can
Yep.
also do a dollhouse view and look at the sides. Now, let's say you want to occupy this space and you want to know how big is this space. You can take a measurement of the space. And you can take a measurement of the rooms. So if you want to see if your bed fits in the room, you can take a measurement of that. So it's very, very functional. Now let's go to, do you have any questions? Because, the teacher in me has to give you think time and pause time. Are there any questions so far?
No, my brain is already asking questions about the concierge in the bottom corner.
Awesome. Let's get to her. Okay, so let's start. This concierge, she will answer questions about the space, but she also speaks multiple languages. So if your language is any of these, you can choose the language that is your preference, and then she will speak to you. For now, we're going to use
Wow.
English. Hopefully you can hear her.
Welcome to Leo Palace Resort. I'm Leah, your virtual concierge. Let's explore. I'll point out key spots and answer any questions you have.
Hi, Leah. Thank you so much for joining us. Can you please introduce yourself to Rob Jackson and explain what you do and how you assist with this 3D virtual tour?
Hello, Rob Jackson. I'm Leah, your virtual concierge and property guide here at Leo Palace Resort. My role is to help you explore our beautiful property through this 3D virtual tour. I can highlight key areas, answer any questions you might have, and provide detailed information about our accommodations, amenities, and services. Think of me as your digital assistant to make your virtual visit as informative and seamless as possible. Feel free to ask me anything as we go along. I'm here to assist you every step of the way.
Awesome. And so thank you so much, Leah. Can you tell me, do you provide support for military personnel?
Absolutely, Rob. At Leo Palace Resort, we proudly support military personnel and government staff stationed in Guam. All our units are fully furnished with modern appliances, air conditioning, and Wi-Fi. making them ideal for TDY or PCS stays. We meet both local and U.S. government housing standards to ensure your safety and comfort. Additionally, transportation support and other services may be
Okay,
available to
Leah,
accommodate your needs.
okay,
If you have any
thank you.
specific
Thank you so
requirements,
much. Thank you. We're on a
Yes,
short,
Rob.
we're on a short
Great.
time. So we'll talk to you later. Thank you.
That
So
was cool. And
yeah,
this is something that you have a patent pending on, this
yeah,
technology,
the integration of
the
the
integration
two.
of it. Yeah.
Yes, yes. And we also work for classrooms. Of course, this is my classroom. And she answers questions about my room and my practices in my room. Um, this is something that works in any business. It can be integrated into a website, an ad, a landing page, whatever you need to do. Hi, she's getting ready to talk.
Hello. It sounds like she has started and is preparing herself. Would you like assistance with anything specific related to this, such as creating a website landing page, or do you need help with something else?
No,
Please let me know how I can assist.
we just need to know about Miss Wall's tutoring hours. Do you know anything about her tutoring?
Yes, I can provide information about Ms. Wall's tutoring based on the details available. Ms. Wall offers tutoring during seminar hours and after school by appointment. Students are encouraged to seek additional help through these sessions or
Okay, so you get the point. It's
Yes.
also, you see the classroom and so forth. Last but not least, this is the integration of, let's say this is a hotel in Hiroshima, Japan. Okay. You can have this integrated with, they can click and see other virtual tours. They can also click here, and let's say you have your business card attached to the virtual tour and you want them to contact you directly in order to do whatever needs to be done. That can
Yep.
be done as well. So it serves so many purposes. But yeah, the integration of the two is amazing.
Wow, I see so many different use cases in this. You obviously showing hospitality, both hotel, restaurant, and you're also showing education. I thought that was an innovative way so that parents can go in and can actually do a virtual meet and survey their kids' classes and stuff like that. That's
There
pretty
you
cool.
go. You get that. I'm glad you got that from there. Yes, that's exactly what it's for. Because in
And
the
to get to
military,
know their teachers and whatnot in a virtual sense, because they might not have the opportunity to make all the parent teacher conferences or something like that, or maybe there was a question that came up at a parent teacher conference, and you can go online and that teacher now right in her classroom, well, here's how I run my class. This is what I
yes,
do. Da da da
yes,
da da. Can you
absolutely.
embed? Can you embed other documents and data in it, like metadata kind of stuff? Like, for example, if I wanted to check up on um, my son's uh, syllabus or something like that, could the syllabus be embedded into Miss Wall's classroom, and I click on that and pull up what they're studying right now?
I'm glad you asked because here it is. I have all three syllabi embedded in the virtual tour so they can be pulled up. And whenever a parent or a student needs to look at the syllabus or refer back to it, they can because it's already there. Everything is already there. So the syllabus, all of the student handbook, anything that you want embedded, even the policies and certain items like the cell phone basket. Students are required to put their cell phones in the basket when they enter the classroom. You can ask the concierge, and she'll tell you and explain to you what the policy is in the classroom and what students can or cannot do, why the classroom is set up this way, all of the above. Now, it does not take personal information, of course, for PII reasons. Um, there's no recording of information with the concierge. It's just general
Okay.
information about the classroom, about the teacher, and the policies and procedures of the classroom.
Okay. So I'm gonna get um real out there on you.
Okay.
So in this digital twin space, um, an industry use case for it. So
Okay.
let's say I have my factory
Mm-hmm.
or a manufacturing or a logistics company,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to go to my production area in cyberspace.
Okay.
Um, and I want to do the same thing. I want to embed metadata, but I want to embed real-time metadata. Like, for example, be able to click on a machine that's operating in that area and
Mm-hmm.
find out how many hours it has on it, or what sensors or whatever are given reading the temperature on that operating machine. I could do that same thing, couldn't I?
Yes, that is definitely possible. That involves a few more integrations, but it can be
But
done.
it's something that a business owner could set up
Yes.
and have a virtual way of monitoring their business, monitoring their production, whether it
Yes.
be production of parts or products or movement of parts and products, or even inventory or
Yes.
location of assets or
Mm-hmm.
vehicles or configuration of vehicles or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You can basically capture the digital twin of any space and the assets in that space, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I actually captured a digital twin of my home and inventoried everything in my home before I moved from Japan to Guam, which is an excellent use case because it's much better than just flat photos. It shows three dimensions of the contents. I also embedded serial numbers for my electronics in the digital twin, and it shows the condition of my household goods before they were even touched by the movers. So then the link to the digital twin can be shared with housing, it can be shared with insurance companies, it can be,
Mm,
and you keep an inventory of it because when they unpack, you know what you're looking for. You can go back to the
yes.
digital twin and you say, oh, wait, here's my little doohickey that was on the table in the living room. And you start looking for it and you can keep track of things that way.
Yes, yes. So, it's interesting. One of the things that I've been contemplating for a while with digital twin um, technology was, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Lean Six Sigma. Um, do you have any familiarization with that?
A little bit, not a whole lot.
Okay. So one of the big tools in Lean is value stream mapping, and traditionally that's been done with big butcher block paper, if you will, and you
Okay.
basically map the flow of assets through
Okay.
your facility, through your production facility, capturing inventory, cycle times. Yields at different machines, etc.
Mm.
What I believe is possible right now is just like the questions I was asking you, that you can do a digital twin value stream map of a particular production or manufacturing or repair or logistics environment embedded with metadata to show in real time how that process is actually flowing, how much
Absolutely.
inventory is stuck and up at a certain level, how much cycle time it's taking and stuff like that. All of that can be embedded into like a virtual value stream map that actually shows the actual work environment, not like butcher block paper and
Yes.
diagrams of what it looks like. That's kind of a one-time shot uh, point in time, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And can you imagine this? Can you imagine someone coming to the digital twin and they want just one question answered? They don't want to have to scroll through and walk through the digital twin. They can ask the concierge, who is right there front facing, what the current situation is or whatever information they need to know, be in and out and on their way, and she's
Yes,
available 24/7, 365. You don't have to pay her minimum wage plus overtime. She's always there. She's not calling out. She's not missing an action, or he, because it can be a male
yeah.
as well. Mm-hmm.
So where my brain goes to is again, my background is manufacturing, maintenance, repair, and
Yeah.
overhaul. If you had a digital twin space like that, that had the metadata embedded in it, and you
Yes.
could see kind of real time what's going on, it would prevent the manager or the executive from going to the shop floor and bothering that frontline supervisor on what's the status of how many parts we produce today or job order such and such, such and such. You could go to the digital twin, you could ask the concierge could then say, yep, the inventory level is this, we produce this many parts, machine is running at da 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 speed, whatever, all of that
Yes.
could be like right there.
Yes. And it's team friendly. So you can connect your team to the digital twin and they can ask questions and make notes on specific locations within the digital twin. Yes.
Yes,
We can go
yes,
on forever and ever. Yeah.
yes, yes. You see, I told you I was going to be geeking out here.
I love this. I love it.
So let's talk about how you execute your business
Okay.
because you have clients not just here in Guam, you have stateside clients and others.
Mm.
How do you serve your clients working virtually or remotely, if you will, and still kind of deliver results?
So there's a team internationally that can capture a space. As long as they have access, then they can capture the space, upload it to my portal, and so forth and so on. That's a lot of technical stuff. And then in terms of Zoom, Zoom works perfectly in order to connect with clients, and it's not necessary for me to be there in person. So because everything is so 21st century, it's easy. It's
Yeah,
just,
so
yeah,
literally you could have clients worldwide and be able to
yes,
service them, um, providing this kind of level of technology consulting.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, what a wonderful world we live in these
I
days, huh?
know. And everybody's not taking advantage of it. This is like the best time to do business.
Yeah, so that leads me to my next question. What are the common digital gaps that you see in Guam businesses today?
Well, one we spoke about is the under optimized Google profile, but also the limited or non existent use of AI in terms of automating repetitive tasks and making connections.
Like,
Okay, well, we talked about the phone calls, answering phone
yep,
calls, answering questions, and then the optimization of the Google profile, putting those things in to be found, um, the content. of the Google profile, the copy, um, all of the information about the business,
Yeah.
consistency
So
and branding, follow up, tons of stuff.
so when you're working with a client remotely, do you find it hard to kind of build trust from a distance, and how do you overcome that?
So it depends on the level of um, openness or willingness to do things differently in terms of the
Hmm.
customer, because some businesses don't work well if they see you on Zoom. They want to be right there in the room with you. So I think just with clear expectations, transparency, consistency, and focusing on what the outcomes are going to be for their business and how beneficial it's going to be. Most of the time, they just want to see, okay, how is this going to help me?
Yeah.
I'm used to doing it this way. This way is fine. And then just meeting businesses and business owners where they are.
Well, that's a good segue because, if I'm a business owner and I'm looking to hire somebody like you to come in and um, digitally transform my business, what should I have ready before hiring you or hiring your type of help?
So the first thing is clear goals. A business needs to know exactly where they are and where they want to go. An understanding of who their customer base is. Not most, but some businesses, they their customer is everybody, and nobody's everybody's customer. You have to have one or two, or focus on who your customer is, and then also a realistic budget. Um, a customer may want, have you heard this phrase? You have champagne dreams, but a
Yeah,
Kool-Aid budget, and that's
yeah,
fine.
yes,
So a business owner may want, all the bells and whistles, and not necessarily ready for that, in terms of a budget. And so there needs to be a clear, realistic budget, and then also an openness to change. Because when talking about AI and innovation, some businesses need to go in baby steps. They need to be integrated slowly. Maybe the first thing would be, someone to answer the phones, and you have to explain it in a way, it has to be explained in a way that makes sense, not just
Mhm.
here, this is what you need. And trust me, you'll need it. That doesn't work, especially when you're on a shoestring budget. Um,
Right,
there has to be a reason why they need it in terms of dollars and cents. So,
right.
and they have to say, okay, what I'm doing right now is not working. I'm open to whatever.
Okay. So if I wanted to work with Digital Glow Consultant or one of my audience members, what's the first best um, step that we should take in order to work with a consultant like you?
Just let's start with a conversation. Let's get to know one another and your business. And then we'll talk about the gaps and determine the best fit that is going to generate the strongest ROI for the business with the least amount of friction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So out there in the consulting game doing this, uh, tell me about some of your biggest do-it-yourself mistakes that you've seen businesses do when they try to go in and implement some digital change.
Just grabbing tools that they heard about without any strategy at all. Just saying, oh, this is the latest, greatest thing. Let me get this, because somebody said I need it. And then they end up purchasing a subscription to something or purchasing this new tool, this new toy, and they figure out, okay, I'm not even using this. They don't have a strategy, nor is there any practical use case for it within their business that's going to generate some income for them. So yeah, just buying stuff for the sake of buying stuff because it's the hottest thing on the market.
So, what are the top uh, wastes of money that you've seen businesses throw dollars at?
Well, running ads without tracking anything, not knowing where the ad spend is going, who the target market is, just wasting money on ads. Well, I've been running these ads and I spent $200 on ads and I only got two customers. Well, what is your strategy? What do you have going on? Also, we talked about this, having a beautiful website that does nothing but sit there and look pretty. It's not converting for them. Every single thing in a person's business should be making them money in some way, shape, or form. If you spend $1,500 on a website, then you should be getting a return on that investment. And then also using tools that don't connect or talk to each other. Um, if they have a CRM, um, or well, let me just break it down. If they have a system where they capture the client's name, address, name, email, and phone number, and it's not talking to their pay gate, that's a huge, huge mistake and a waste of
You
money.
mean like a merchant account, like Stripe or something like
Yeah,
that?
yes. If you
Which, of
capture
course, we don't have access to in Guam.
there are some tools that can be used, but yeah, Stripe, there are some limitations here on Guam. But
Yeah.
your CRM should connect to something. It should connect to, when you collect someone's name, address, and phone number, it should be booking an appointment, or it should be charging them $1 to get a download or something.
Okay. So, walk us through what does a 30-day AI digital transformation starter pack look like? What's all in that toolbox of items?
Well, you already know. An AI phone concierge, number one, we want to
Okay.
eliminate those unanswered calls, optimizing your Google profile, Google business profile, fixing the website to make sure that it's converting, and then also creating strong visual assets. Ideally, something immersive on your Google business profile and in your ads and on your social media platforms.
Okay. So let's do a comparison contrast.
Okay,
Useful AI tools versus risky ones. What are the useful ones? What are the risky AI tools and why?
that's a really good question. A useful AI tool all day long, I would say, since the inception of customer use is ChatGPT for me. I think that is very useful. Um, Useful AI tool is the phone answering automation system. And it's not
Hmm.
just the ones, I want to clear this up, and I should have done this earlier. The phone automation system is not the same as, hi, click one for yes, two for no. Click three if you want to be
Ah,
connected
okay.
to,
It's not a
click
phone tree.
four,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
because people hate that, right?
yeah.
Um, some risky tools, also data analysis tools. Um, and risky is something that promises like instant results without any strategy or oversight. If it's something that
Mm,
says, oh, for 19.99, you'll get this. and then you don't hear from them, you don't know anything about what's going on. Yes, that's risky.
Okay. What are the top trends that you see for over the next 12 to 24 months in AI?
AI assistants, AI agents, immersive experiences, and I would say local search, especially in the hospitality space. I think the hospitality space has a huge opportunity to grow when it comes to the use of artificial intelligence and automations. If you visit hotels nowadays, you'll go to a hotel and they may have an iPad, or they'll have the little talking bubble. You know, you type in a question
Yes.
and then yeah, you still have to spend time with that. But I think it's more personal because personalization is important to people. They like to feel seen and heard. And if you have a likeness of someone who is having a conversation with you, that makes the person feel exclusive. Like this is really for me and meant for me to assist me. So I see that.
So
Go ahead.
yeah, so let me throw this at you, right? Because
Yeah.
obviously here on Guam, tourism is our bread and butter. You know, that's what we're all about, hospitality, and we depend on those that tourism from the Asian countries, Japan,
Yeah.
Korea, Taiwan, Philippines,
Mm-hmm.
etc. But the top two markets definitely Japan and South Korea. Do you really think that these technology tools could help draw or improve on the tourism experience to get more people coming or coming back to Guam from these countries?
Absolutely. I wholeheartedly believe that because there's a translation feature, if Guam caters to the language of the customers who visit and provides them with the support that they need with respect to their languages, it makes it
Mm.
feel more personal and inviting because you're speaking my language. You're answering my questions in my language. You're not requiring me to know everything in English. I think that's a huge game changer for the hospitality industry. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great to know. That's great to know. Tell me some more about the patent pending on your AI concierge. You know, um, what's the latest and greatest on that? And, how did you come up with it? And what's the real problem that it's trying to solve?
So I came up with it because I noticed that if I go to a space, they always say necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes.
So the 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 tools separately, they do a great job, but integrated, I realized I could ask questions while I'm there without having to guess about the space. I've actually rented apartments sight unseen using a 3D virtual tour in
Right, right.
isolation, right? I've done that 2 or 3 times. But the power of having someone there, because we have time differences, it solves a huge problem when it comes to time difference. When you have someone in the States who's interested in renting an apartment or booking a hotel room, and there's not someone there, the night crew, you probably have one person there who's answering the phone, who's reaching out to the personnel or the clients in the hotel, the guests in the hotel, and now they have to answer your phone call as well. The person on the other side, stateside, they don't have to stay up 20,
Yeah.
24 hours to get tapped into, let's say, Subaki Tower. They can go online, they'll see a guest room that they want to rent, that they want to book, ask questions about it, and then they can book right there in the virtual tour. So it marries the two systems and it solves the problem of missing a booking because of a time difference or
Yeah.
because the other person
Or
has
a simple question.
a question. Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about responsible AI. Okay. So, and how do you balance it with transformation? People are concerned about privacy and transparency and all of that. How do you balance those concerns with technological transformation?
It's just by educating both the client who is using the technology as well as the client who is purchasing the technology and embedding it in their system. There's security behind in the background that keeps information secure. Just talking about password protection and all of that information, just letting people know that, well, believe it or not, all of our information is out there, but letting people know your information is not going to be sold. It's not going to be, shared with anyone other than the company that you're doing business with. So it's just about a matter of education and conversation and being totally transparent with what's going on in the process.
Okay. So we just started a new year, right? So, what should leaders understand most as we go through 2026?
Absolutely great question. That digital transformation isn't optional. It's a necessity. It is a non-negotiable. Um, Most customers are expecting a digital experience of some sort whenever they encounter a business. Um,
Hmm.
if businesses delay, then they're going to continue to struggle to compete globally. It's not just about what's in your backyard. Your customer is all over the world. And if
Yeah,
you want to reach that customer, especially on an island, then you have to be able to expand, because if you want to expand your customer base, you have to expand your reach by utilizing technology to do that.
yeah, yeah. What kind of advice do you have for young people? Young people who might want to enter this field. What would you tell them?
I would say learn the technology. I had this conversation today with some young people, and I told them, I said, you need to be really clear on how AI works and how it can impact every space you enter, and be familiar with how you can utilize it to impact that space. Um, they need to understand strategy, communication, ethics, all of it, not just a part of it. And they need to really, really immerse themselves in it. I think far gone are the days of just learning for learning's sake. You have
Mm,
to really be able to apply. And most businesses, I'm going to tell you a story. When ChatGPT first came out, well, came out to the public, that was in, I want to say it was November of 2022, maybe. I jumped right on it. And I did a search after jumping on and beginning to use AI. I immediately went to LinkedIn, and a month later, I noticed, this is just 1 month after um, OpenAI allowing customer use, 884 employers had already posted jobs for people who were using AI. They had 800. I remember the number because I remember sharing that information. 1 month later, there were
1 month later.
884 job postings with AI as the center, and they wanted people who knew how to use AI.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So it's not so businesses and jobs are not going to be lost. And this sounds so cliche, but it is so common. Jobs are not going to be lost to AI. Jobs are going to be lost to the people who are no longer using AI. We tell the Blockbuster story all the time
Yes.
because Blockbuster didn't evolve. Blockbuster went out of business. They thought, oh, that Netflix thing, that's nothing. We're not going to do that. We're used to seeing people come through our doors. It's the same thing with AI. And it's not to, put fear into business owners, but just awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What a great conversation. I tell you, what's next for you and Digital Glow Consulting?
Well, actually, expanding AI-driven immersive solutions and deeper relationships in the hospitality space, and scaling systems that help Guam compete on a global stage. It's a tough one. You and I both know that, change is hard. Change can be really difficult.
But we need it. And, you know, our business leaders and our civic leaders are looking for solutions that are going to make a difference to, peg the needle in terms of tourism. We
Yeah.
had like 5 years, well, more than that. First the pandemic, then the typhoon, where our bread and butter has been impacted, and we're trying to get back up to those
Yeah.
levels. How do you transform and get back to those levels? Well, here's a tool that might be able to help some.
Yeah. Well, okay, those conversations are really easy to have, but how do you see those as truly converting to action? Because I've had a lot of interest, but it seems like, some businesses are really slow to jump on. Like, how does that, tell me, what do you think about that? I know this is your show,
Yeah.
but we're having a
No, 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 no,
conversation.
no, no. No, that's great because it's timely. I just attended the 2026 Economic Outlook for Guam that was hosted by the Guam Chamber of Commerce. And it was all of this kind of discussion about,
Yeah.
what does the outlook look like, not just for this year, but kind of long term for Guam. And everybody, to a T, was talking about the need to transform
Yes.
and the need to act and act quickly
Hmm.
to recover ground on tourism. And it
Yeah.
wasn't going to be done by just doing the same thing. You know,
Yeah.
um, I think that you're right. A lot of businesses here on Guam are stuck in their own inertia. But the more that we pound this drum that
Hmm.
transformation is not optional, maybe more businesses will step in and be willing to experiment. It's okay to fail or figure out, yeah, I don't want to use it like this, I want to use it like that. But
Yeah.
to not even play in that sandbox, I don't think that's an option for Guam. You've got to step in and be willing to at least play with the tools, get intelligent about the tools or whatever. Yeah, it's gonna spend. You have to spend some money on it, but you can't afford not to do that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? Let me tell you something. I did a digital twin of a property. This is because, real estate is,
Here in Guam,
it was here in Guam. True story. I did a digital twin of a listing. A couple from California saw the listing. So listing gets posted Friday. Couple came in Saturday. They saw the listing. They were looking specifically for listings that had a 3D virtual tour. They
mm,
came in on Saturday, and that property sold, it closed within 30 days.
Mm, mm.
And the couple said they were really glad to see that this property had a virtual tour, a 3D virtual tour, because that's what they were used to stateside.
Yes.
And so I think Guam, we have to get out of our own way here and say, hey, we're not only selling to Guam, we're selling to a global market. So we have to meet the global market where the global market is. And outside of Guam, the global market is looking for something innovative and tech forward in order to make things happen. They
And
don't,
not just for technology's sake, but they want that
that part.
immersive experience. They want to
Absolutely.
see it, feel it, touch it. And like you said, imagine themselves sitting right there or going into that room or
Yes.
looking out that window or standing on that balcony. This is the tools to help you give that immersive experience so that you can sell your product, your experience, and
Yes.
get people there.
Yes. 110%.
Yeah. Wow. Allyn, you did not disappoint. I tell you, thank you so much for an incredible conversation and for sharing all of your insights on AI powered marketing, digital transformation, and what it takes for Guam businesses to really compete and grow in the 21st century. To our audience, I hope you were listening because this really, really affects you. And we need tools like this in order to improve and take Guam to the next level. Um, Thank you again for being a part of the Innovate Guam podcast. Uh, to
You.
my audience members, be sure to follow, like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to check me out on in the Pacific Daily News, my Innovate column, and I will see you next time. And always remember, whether you're at work, at home, or at play, always innovate. Thank you so much.